time. It's been kind of sitting around, waiting for us to get a chance to use it. So we are kind of experimenting on how to use a food dehydrator. Now, I'm not going to question whether or not these work, because obviously they do, or they wouldn't sell them, and many people wouldn't be enjoying beef jerky or banana chips or any of the other dried fruit chips out there. But we are going to kind of show how this works and how the process works. So um, here we go. We are currently in the process. As you see, we went ahead and we cleaned it out because it had been sitting here in our kitchen for a while. And now we decided to experiment with this, or not experiment, that should say, we decided to try it out with a pineapple that we've recently bought from one of our local grocery stores. So I am currently trying to chop this or cut this with one of our knives, seeing I can't find a better utensil to do this with. I thought we had one, but I can't find it apparently. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I have gone through and chopped the pineapple up, and even gone as far as taking off the sides. Now, before anybody any people that are cooks or trolls or anything of that nature, I am not a cook. I am not pretending to be a cook. However, I did get the outer skin of the pineapple off. So yes, I did kind of butcher the pineapple, but it is for a good purpose. So as you can see, it's chopped and ready to go. Further chopping may be necessary, but basically how this thing works is that, okay, you have one tray that, of course, you put down, and then once you fill that up, you grab another tray, and this is hard to do with just one hand, but you put another tray on top, you fill that up, and then you keep going until you run out of trays or you just run out of food. Alright, so we are going to do that now with the pineapple. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start laying this out on the tray here. Again, this is our first time using this thing, so I figured now my first clue that I was probably going to be using it wrong was when I decided to plug it up, because I thought there was actually some kind of an on-off switch here. So I decided to go ahead and plug it up, and it started going. It started going on its own, so obviously that was a bad idea. Too thick? No, that should be alright. Alright, I'm putting the final one on there. Now again, if these are too thick, I'm going to have to go back and cut them a little more. So we got the first set up there, and now we're putting on the tray. Okay, it looks like it's good. Alright, now going for the second level. And for those of you that don't know what a dehydrator is, it is exactly as the title, or what it does exactly what it's called. It is a dehydrator. What it does is it basically it dries out food. Okay, so it sucks all the liquid out of food. So in case you're wondering, if you've ever had beef jerky before, you've had products that have been dehydrated. So that's about the best I can think of to kind of give you an idea in case some people are like, well, I've never had stuff that, yeah, you have. If you have beef jerky, you've had it. You've had dehydrated food before, or food made by a dehydrator. So we're coming down to the last bits of the pineapple here. This will be interesting to see how this works and see how this comes out. And that's it. That's all the pineapple we got. We're done. It all fits. And now to put the lid on it. Second. Okay, now we're putting the lid on it. Let's see, make sure it's down. Oh, well, maybe I need to put the last tray on and then put the lid on it. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, last tray is on. Lid is on. It looks good. Everything looks good. Alright, now it's time to plug this bad boy up. And there it goes. Alright, that is the dehydrator. We'll come back later and see how it looks after it's done. Alright folks, here we are, 11 hours later, and I have turned off the dehydrator, and now it's time to take the lid off and see how these turned out. Okay, now if you need an idea of what these look like before, rewind the video. But they are not nearly as juicy as they were before. Pineapple chips. Very nice. So, there you go. That's how a dehydrator works. It's always a good idea to read the instruction book. However, I mean, I didn't. I kind of actually figured out how this thing worked. But read the instruction book, because if it were up to me, I would have had this thing off like 2 hours after I started. But thankfully, I read the missus read the instruction book and made me look at how much or how long I need to keep this thing on for the pineapples, because each food has a different time to set in the dehydrator. So again, read the instructions that come with your dehydrator. That way you know how long to keep the food that you're dehydrating in there, and how you can store it after that will be up to you. You can either vacuum seal it, you can pack it up in a lunch. It's a real good way to make some good survival food, and so on and so forth. So like, comment, subscribe at the bottom, and check us out on Facebook under Black Prepper Society, and stay tuned for our next video. Later. Oh, and one more thing. Prepare yourself.